Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Becky, and today we're going to be working on a 12 by 12 layout that was done for a challenge during International Scrapbooking Weekend. The challenge was you had to use hexagons. I did not do very good. I did use hexagons, but I kind of tucked them in and hit them a little bit. You can see in the top left-hand corner of your screen, we are going to be using a sketch. Is designed by Janessa Franco. I don't know where I found it. I do believe that is over on my Pinterest page. Now, I am going to be using several doilies on here. I had picked up some doilies from Michaels, I think the Recollections brand, doilies from Michaels, and they are absolutely terrible. It's this pack of pink ones. I couldn't get them separated without ripping them. Oh my gosh, they are so horrible. I end up using some that are just like double layered. I just have them floating on my desk. I'm either going to trash them or try to use them as quickly as I possibly can just to get them out of my stash because they're bad. I do think I have some more of these floating around my room somewhere in other colors. So yeah, when I run across those, I'm probably not going to be really super thrilled to try and tackle them and try and use them, but we'll see. Now, I will go ahead and tell you up front right here, this is not going to be my favorite layout. In fact, I kind of dislike this layout, which is sad because I like the photos. Riley is sitting in her car seat and Marissa had put Riker on her, and this was when Riker, I don't know, he might have been a month old, maybe 2 months old here. She just looks like, get this fatso off of me, because he's pretty heavy. He's almost the same size as she is right now. So yeah, he's a pretty big kid and he's laying on her and she's just like, oh, help me. So I really do like those photos. These photos might end up getting re-scrapped in a different way. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not really sure. So you can see right here, I am going to be using a lot of scraps on here because this is toward the end of the weekend and I had nothing but scraps floating around my desk. Still do. I still haven't cleaned up. Not 100% anyway. So yeah, I am going to be using several scraps here. I'm going to layer up a whole bunch of pictures in the center, or not pictures, sorry, pattern papers. You can see how in this sketch there's just like this big long block that's right there. I'm going to use some scraps, but I'm also going to be pulling some papers out of, or at least one paper that I know of, out of the 6x8 paper pad from one of the Paige Evans collections. I don't get those very often. In fact, I used to buy 6x6 paper pads quite a bit, but I hardly ever use them, so I stopped buying them. And this is, I think, maybe only the third 6x8 paper pad that I had purchased. And again, I don't buy those anymore either because I don't use them. So yeah, it's always like an afterthought. I believe that page right there with the foiling on it, I think that one's from the 6x8 paper pad, and the rest of those are just going to be scraps that I'm going to just layer up all wonky. See, it's not even nice. It's like I was trying to hurry it along or something. I don't know. This layout and this whole process when I was editing the video, if it did feel rather rushed to me. I don't know if that's why it just does not look great. Maybe it's the design of the page. I don't know. It's just not going to be my favorite. So here I did pull out this paper right here. It's one of the ones that Paige Evans is known for doing different patterns and squares, you know, her different paper patterns and squares. I am going to use that paper to go ahead and punch out some hexagons. So at first I thought, okay, even though I have this big mess going on in the center right there, I thought I would go ahead and build out some hexagons from the side. Not gonna work. What I'm gonna end up doing is just taking two, layering them up and putting them at the top right hand side of that paper cluster, and putting two and layering them up and putting them at the bottom left hand side of that paper cluster. So here I'm going to go ahead and commit to the photos. Those are the photos I was talking about where Marissa had put Riker on top of Riley, and it was just funny. So I only backed one of them. This is the only one I'm going to back. It's the smaller one of the two. I'm just going to back it in some white. It's a better photo. Even though it's smaller, it's still a better photo because you can see Riley's face in it. In the other one, Riker, well, you can't really see Riker's face too well in either one of them, but in the other photo, Riley is kind of looking down a little bit, so you can't really see her face. That small one's the one where she has that help me look on her face. I love it. Yeah, that picture will probably end up getting re-scrapped in a different way. Maybe not the big one, but that small one for sure probably is going to end up getting re-scrapped. So here's where I decide that I'm going to double up those hexagons. They're not going to sit where they are right now, but that's basically going to be the feeling it has, is going to be two of them layered up on top of each other. You saw I did pull out a tag right there. That's not going to make it onto this particular layout. I think I do use it on another layout I end up doing the same weekend. Here I thought, well, I can see if I can make some hexagons using the inside portion of these doilies, because these doilies are awful, and I didn't mind ruining a little bundle of them to see if I could get it to work. I didn't like it. I couldn't get the hexagon punch. It didn't really punch it out neatly, even though they were bundled up together. Still, the center portion of them weren't really stuck together, so when I punched it, some of the punch didn't, I don't know, it just didn't work how it should. It wasn't thick enough to accommodate the punch to go through it. The material kind of bent in or something, so yeah, it didn't work very well. I am going to go ahead and start building my clusters. I am going to have one up here in the top right hand corner, and then one down here in the bottom left, where you can see that I am building them out at this point. Up here at the top, I'm going to take away that round part. It basically covered up the hexagons, and you wouldn't even be able to tell it was a hexagon. You can, looking at it now, you can at least tell it's a hexagon, so I guess challenge met, right? Begrudgingly, because I don't like the way this came out really at all. I do take a couple of these little flowers that were part of a little flower pack from Paige Evans. I'm going to go ahead and pull that hello away, and I'm just going to use the favorite right there. You know, I love the pre-made titles, especially on this weekend, because we were doing so many challenges. Who wants to take the extra 30 minutes to put down a title that you made up on your own? Why I say 30 minutes? Because you have to add adhesive to the back of every single letter, and who wants to do that? I'd rather spend my time scrapbooking than having, I mean, that is part of scrapbooking, I know, but it almost feels like a waste of time sometimes, right? To have to glue down every single letter. So yes, I do prefer the pre-made letters, unless when I'm looking at the picture, like this one, I said I wanted to call it get this fatso off of me, or something like that. That would have been rude anyways. Coming up, you know, when they get older, maybe Riker might see it and be like, Granny, that is not nice. Calling me fatso. So yeah, it's probably a good thing I didn't put that on there. Here I am just using this little die cut right here. It says Road to Happiness. I did pop it up on some foam tape. I also layered that little heart sticker right there on top of it just to use it. I was trying to, you know, use some things that are laying around on my desk, have been neglected a little bit. And then up there at the top, I put that favorite. I layered it up over these flowers. Now, those flowers were originally a vase, and I cut the vase part off and just kept the flower portion. And then I had these buttons. These buttons been kicking around for forever. They might be Paige Evans, I'm not sure, but there's several different kinds of buttons on there, and I used the 3 mint ones. And I feel like I've had that out in Mini Kit Monday maybe 2 times already, and they never have been used. So yes, I did. I figure since this isn't my favorite layout anyways, I'm going to go ahead and throw these buttons I haven't used in years and go ahead and put those on here too. So that's what I did. I figure it's already not my favorite, so what the heck. And I did not stitch my buttons either. A lot of times, almost all the time actually, I really like to, when I put the button down, I like to poke the holes through with a pokey tool and stitch them on the page. I mean, they're glued on, but I also like to have the stitching through them as well, and I did not do that on here. Okay, I am going to be pulling out these metallic paints by Rachel Beth Designs from Etsy. I'm just going to give the gold a little splatter around the page. I thought it might help the layout out a little bit because, like I said, it's not my favorite. It didn't. It's still not my favorite. It didn't help it out that much. All right, guys, after I do that, I am not going to do anything else to this layout. See, I mean, this is just not my favorite. Love that photo, though. But yeah, that's not my favorite at all. It is a mess, but that's okay. Save your thumbs downs. I know, I am aware. Okay, I'm aware. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Check the links down below, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.